Nej, kom nu. Nej, kom nu. Ja, nej, kom nu. Ja, nej, kom nu. Kom nu. Nej, kom nu. Ja, nej. Kom nu. Kom nu.
Barakatah Yahawah, Barakatah Yahawashi, Barakatah Yahawah, Barakatah Yahawashi, Barakatah Yahawah, Barakatah Yahawashi, HALALYAM AHBANAWA YAHAWAH BAHASHAM YAHAWASHI, BAHASHAM HAQADASH. Double honors to our apostles and our elders of great millstone, who rule well, teach well, and sound doctrine, strong shalom to the hopeful elect, and rest of the large multitude men and women and children of the Lord. Have mercy on these last days. Brother HAQADASH, come back with a quick lesson through the quick hit through the spirit and power of Yahawashi, Lord willing, it is edifying. The Good Shepherd and His Sheep is the title of this video, okay? Used for educational purposes, okay? The title of this lesson, My Sheep Hear My Voice. My sheep hear my voice, okay? And that great shepherd is Yahawashi, Hamashiach, the Messiah, okay, the anointed one. And his sheep hear his voice, man. Okay? His sheep hear his voice. Now what I'm going to do is, as you saw in the video, the guy calling out, which is significant because Yahawashi, Yahawashi is calling out unto his sheep. And only the ones that are meant to eat are going to eat. Okay? Many are called, few are chosen. Okay, as you can see the sheep to the left of the screen, some sheep went off because they weren't meant to eat. Okay, who knows where they went? And then you had a remnant. You had a remnant that ate. Okay, you had a remnant that ate. And the remnant heard the voice of the Lord, just metaphorically speaking, is hearing the voice of the Lord now in these times. And they're eating. And what are we eating? Lord willing, we're part of that number. Like it says in Ezekiel and like it says in Revelations, we're eating out the whole world. We're eating this book. We're becoming full of the knowledge, wisdom, and understanding that the Lord allowed us access to. Okay, we're being led, okay, by the shepherd. And he's calling out. And he's called out. And we hear his voice, Lord willing. So this says, it says, what does a shepherd do for the sheep? The duty of shepherds was to keep their flock intact, protected from predators, and guided to market areas in time for shearing. Okay, it just goes into other things. In ancient times, shepherds also commonly milked their sheep, made cheese from their milk. Few shepherds still do today. Right, so the point is that the duty of a shepherd was to keep their flock intact. So YAHWASHI, that's why he said in Matthew 19 and 28, ye that follow me in the regeneration. Okay, so the ones that follow YAHWASHI in the regeneration, because they're his sheep, and by following the voice of their shepherd, they were always able to maintain order and stay intact and be protected from the predators, wolves. It says, jumping down, it says, do sheep know their shepherd? It says the sheep recognize the voice of the shepherd. They follow him. The shepherd protects his flock and will give his life for them. So that's exactly what Yahawashi did. He gave his life for the sheep. Okay? He gave his life for the sheep. Now, this is a phenomenal article. I suggest plugging into this Akim and you few sisters that take heed to sound doctrine. This is a great read. I want to go into it and do a whole lesson off this article alone, but it's okay. The spirit led me to some precepts, and we're just gonna get those and close out and just touch on this briefly. But before I touch into this, the Lord is the great shepherd, okay? But the Lord also have throughout the generations have set up shepherds in his stead, okay? That were supposed to come and teach Israel and feed Israel day in and day out, okay? In representation of the things in the heavens, being Yahawashi, being that great shepherd. Okay, and like for example, when Yahawashi said, Peter, if thou lovest me, feed my sheep. Okay, so there are many shepherds. The Lord has set up shepherds, and the shepherds in these days, okay, in an ancient world were our leaders. Okay, preferably or mainly the elders. Okay, stemming from a Levitical priesthood and so forth and so forth. Okay, but like the scriptures say in Isaiah 5 and 13, our multitude is dried up with thirst. Okay, because we went off, hell hath enlarged herself. Okay, our leaders languish. Okay, meaning we have no true leadership. Okay, so before I even read this, let's just go into Jeremiah real quick. Jeremiah 23:1. Woe be unto the pastor that destroy and scatter the sheep of my pasture, said the Lord. Right, so meaning death and destruction. Therefore, thus said HALALYAM of Yasha'Allah against the pastors that feed my people. Ye have scattered my flock because they're feeding with GMO food, okay, genetically modified organisms, okay, of bread, okay. Therefore, it causes the sheep to scatter because they're not being properly fed. You have scattered my flock, okay, being properly fed, being properly led, okay. Scatter my flock and driven them away and have not visited them. Right, so the whole house of Israel fell, okay, and had to go into captivity, even the elect, okay. It says, and driven them away and have not visited them. Behold, I will visit upon you the evil of your doing, said the Lord. And I will gather the remnant. You see? The Lord said, I will gather the remnant. And that's what you see here. The remnant here, man. And you see sheep on the side. You see? And then you have sheep running off. As they're eating, you have sheep running off, man. As the men of the Lord continue to eat in these times, you're still gonna have sheep that run off. They can't hear the voice of their shepherd. I don't know why they just did that. Jeremiah 23:3. And I will gather the remnant of my flock out of all countries whether I have driven them, and will bring them again to their folds, and they shall be fruitful and increase. And I will set up shepherds, you see, over them, which shall feed them, and they shall fear no more, nor be dismayed, neither shall they be lacking, neither shall they be lacking, said YAHWASHI. Okay, and the modern day shepherds in these times are the apostles and elders of Great Millstone. Okay, and all the elders up under them. Okay, they're feeding the house of David. They're feeding that righteous branch, like it says in the next verse. Okay, that the Lord has set up. A shepherd tends to the flock. A shepherd cares for his flock. It says the duty of shepherds was to keep their flock intact. So we get that word. Intact. Not damaged or impaired in any way. Complete. That's why the Lord said in Colossians 1, Paul said, coming and preaching in all wisdom. Okay, why? Because the shepherd is leading the remnant to the proper food, non-GMO. Therefore, the shepherd being Yahawashi, okay, is keeping the elect intact. Okay, so it says here, matter of fact, you go to Jeremiah 50 and 6. It says, my people have been lost sheep. Their shepherds have caused them to go astray. They have turned them away on the mountains. They have gone from mountain to hill. They have forgotten their resting place. You see, all that found them have devoured them. And their adversaries said, we will fear not, because they have sinned against the Lord, the habitation of justice, even Yahweh, the hope of their fathers. You see, so let me highlight this. So the Lord said, we have been lost sheep. That's why the Lord in Matthew 10, I believe, said, go to the lost sheep of the house of Israel. Okay, bid them to the marriage. It's all about the elect. It's all about that remnant, man. Okay, because all Israel are considered sheep. We have to be led, man. Docile creatures. We need a leader. Okay, but it says here their shepherds have caused them to go astray. They have turned them away on the mountains. So our leaderships, our leadership have failed us. Isaiah 5:13. Therefore my people are going into captivity because they have no knowledge, and their honorable men are famished, and their multitude dried up with thirst. You see, honorable men are shepherds that were supposed to lead us, and they were supposed to feed us. But Yahawashi is the ultimate shepherd, because he gave his life up for his sheep, as it says again here. The shepherd protects his flock and will give his life for them. This is Ezekiel. Let's grab this real quick. Ezekiel. My sheep wandered through all the mountains. That's um I start at 5, Ezekiel 34 and 5. And they were scattered because there's no shepherd, and they became meat to all the beasts of the field when they were scattered. Right? Because the more you stretch something, the weaker it becomes. Okay? Because it's stretched thin. That's what happened to the Roman military. They stretched it too thin. It says, my sheep wandered through all the mountains and upon every high hill. Yet my flock was scattered upon all the face of the earth, and none did search or seek after him. Therefore, ye shepherds, hear the word of. So the Lord is showing you that what? I'm gonna read 8. As I live, said Yahawah, surely because my flock became a prey, and my flock became meat to every beast of the field. Right. First Maccabees 3 and 52. And lo, the heathen are assembled together against us to destroy us. What things they imagine against us, thou knowest. And then First Maccabees 2:10, what nation have not what nation have not had a part in her kingdom and gotten her spoils? So every nation have had their part in our downfall, man. It says, that's why it says, and they were scattered because there is no shepherd, and they became meat to all beasts of the field, all the nations. When they were scattered, my sheep wandered through all the mountains and upon every high hill, yet my flock was scattered upon the face of the earth, and none did search or seek after him. Right. Jumping down to 8. I'll keep going. Therefore, you shepherds, hear the word of the Lord. Yes, as I live, say YAHWASHI, surely because my flock became a prey, my flock became meat to every beast of the field, because there was no shepherd. There were no true leaders. Neither did my shepherds search for my flock, but the shepherds fed themselves and fed not my flock. You see? It says, therefore, O ye shepherds, hear the word of the Lord. Therefore, it said, thus said YAHWAH, behold, I am against the shepherds, and I will require my flock at their hand. Okay? And cause them to cease from feeding the flock. Okay? Doing the work despitefully for filthy lucre. Neither shall the shepherds feed themselves anymore, for I will deliver my flock from their mouth, that they may not be meat for them. For thus said the Lord power, behold, I, even I, will both search my sheep and seek them out. And the Lord he said he will sift the house of Israel. And he's sifting the house of Israel. Okay? It says, as a shepherd seeketh out his flock in the day that he is among his sheep that are scattered, so will I seek out my sheep, and will deliver them out of all places where they have been scattered in the cloudy and dark day. And I will bring them out from the people and gather them from the countries, and will bring them to their own land and feed them upon the mountains of Israel by the rivers and all the inhabited places of the country. So the Lord his sheep, okay, hear his voice, man. And it what I forgot to say what inspired this lesson was yesterday my rib was in the bathroom and my son was crawling, and I didn't even know where my rib was at. I thought she was in the kitchen. But my son, okay, uh, knew exactly where she was at. Okay. Like, I mean, he must have heard her breathing, okay, because I didn't know, I had no idea. Sounded like she was in the kitchen, but she was in the bathroom, and he knew exactly where she was at. All the rooms that he crawled past, he didn't even go one way that way. No, he went directly in the direction of the bathroom. Why? Because he understood, in a sense, his shepherd's voice being my rib, because she's the one that feeds him physically, carnally. Okay, if you have ears to hear. So he knew exactly where he was going. Every sheep of the Lord knew exactly where they're going. Okay, in the spirit until it's revealed in the flesh. Luke 15:4, it says, what man of you having 100 sheep, if he lose one of them, do not leave the 99 in the wilderness and go after that which is lost until he find it? It says, obviously, this is a parable dealing with the wicked scribes and Pharisees. The Lord was trying to give an example. It says, when he had found it, he left it on his shoulder, rejoicing. And when he cometh home, he calleth together his friends and neighbors, saying unto them, rejoice with me, for I have found my sheep which was lost. So the Lord has his flock was scattered because of individuals like these wicked scribes and Pharisees in the nations. The scriptures tell you in Jeremiah 5, our ways exceeded the deeds of the wicked. So therefore, they too have scattered the Lord's flock. So, but the Lord have found us, and He's rejoicing. That's why the scriptures say the angels in heaven rejoice over one sinner that repenteth. Okay, the Lord deals with a small remnant. He always have. Okay, deal with a small remnant and make the biggest noise, the biggest entry, the biggest entrance. I'm Salaki, the biggest entrance, the biggest redemption, the biggest. The Lord does big things, man, with a small number, because that shows His great power. It's just like somebody like Nate Robinson dunking on Yao Ming. He's so small, Yao Ming so tall. Him dunking on Yao Ming like a straight clean dunk. That's that shows great power, man. The ultimate respect. Real quick, let's go to close out in John chapter 10. We're gonna go right into the point. John 10 and 14. I am the good shepherd, and know my sheep, and am known of mine. You see? As the Father know of me, even so I, the Father, and I lay down my life for the sheep. So it says, like this is a good article. It says a shepherd lays down his life for the sheep. It says, let's go into this real quick. It says, in spring, okay, one thing is that in the spring, sheep give birth, okay, which is also great, and which is also synonymous because the sheep, the flock of the Lord, they continue in life, okay? They continue in life, meaning spring, okay? In spring, everything is reborn, okay? From the winter months, everything is reborn. And the sheep are in a constant state of repenting. Okay, so they give birth in the spring. It is when the shepherds are most involved. You see, it says when the shepherds are most involved. Okay, when the YAHAWASHI is more involved with the state of His flock when they are truly repented. Because the Lord is not dealing when you're not repented. He's turned His face from you, His power. Okay. So it says the shepherds are most involved when the sheep give birth in the spring. Therefore, we are at the state of repentance. The Lord is more involved, hands on. Therefore, you can now receive what? The Holy Spirit, which gives you insight and understanding. More than 500 sheep give birth to their young in a family which has many sheep. Shepherds should minimize their sheep. See the time bar and such. It says, in taking care of their flock, shepherds do their best just as they love their own children. All the mother sheep and their young in the herds are remembered by most shepherds. Two of them. It says the shepherd puts two of them in a separate stable for around 4 to 5 days. If there is any mother sheep that does not take care of its young, given that it is unfamiliar, then the rest of the mother sheep take care of and feed their young. If a mother sheep neglects her youth to the end, the lamb will die. You see, because why? The lamb was not fed, man. In this case, with the milk, the shepherd feeds the lamb and raises it. You see, so the lamb dies or gets sick because why? There's no proper food. Okay? It says, we could just start at the top. Shepherds led flocks of sheep every morning to pasture 5 to 6, 3 to 4 miles away from home. Now check. Wolves are the rivals of shepherds and sheep. As a shadow, wolves pursue the herd. A pack of wolves follow them from afar, climbing hills and mountains from the moment a shepherd leaves home with his flock. So the moment we step out of our comfort, which is the roof over us, okay? Soon as we leave the home, the wolves are on our tail, man. That's why the scriptures tell you. I'm not gonna get them just quoting them. The scriptures tell you that Satan, uh, 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 what it says like it says that Satan go around like a roaring lion, right? Roughly paraphrasing, seeking whom he may devour. And we read it earlier that we've been devoured. It says a pack of wolves follow them from afar, climbing hills and mountains from the moment a shepherd leaves home with his flocks. It says from the moment, showing you that we have to cleave onto YAHWASHI every second of the way, because the moment we even leave his side, we would get devoured, man. That's why the scriptures say if it were possible, they should deceive the very elect. If any sheep give birth on the way to their young ones and are left in the meadow, okay, the wolves run immediately toward them, and the lambs are attacked by birds of prey. You see, everybody is seeking the lamb. Okay, everybody is seeking the sheep. Okay, the shepherd pays great attention to them all the time for this reason. It says when the shepherd goes away from the flock, so the Lord is watching us day in and day out, man. He pays great attention to us. When the shepherd goes away from the flock of sheep, the wolves come and strike the sheep immediately. So that's what happened to us. The Lord went away, okay, which he went away for us to go in chattel slavery. And the wolves, being the nations in Esau, they came and struck immediately. They didn't wait 1 second. Never do they prey on only one sheep. They bite some sheep's tails, thighs, back, and neck. Wolves seriously bite off between 50 to 60 sheep. They attack fast. And then they know from the very moment that we're about to get left, they start to hunt us. You see? It says the sheep scarcely shift and mourn with agony as they are torn here and there by wolves. Then the birds of prey swoop in and peck that wounded sheep's flesh and eyes, man. And that's what happened. That's why the Lord said our dead bodies and the curses should be meat unto the fowls of the air. Our carcasses should be meat unto the fowls of the air. The Lord allowed us to be devoured by wolves, man, because we ignored our shepherd's voice. Originally, the sheep have poor eyesight. What is worse, if they become blind, they want to run away in fear even when the shepherd approaches them, since they confuse the shepherd for a wolf. So when you're blinded, the significance of the sheep, the lost, the Israel being blinded, is that even when the shepherd Yahawashi is amongst them or near, okay, it says that they want to run away in fear even when the shepherd approaches them because they're blind. They confuse the good with the right, the evil with the righteous, and the righteous with the good. I mean, the evil with the righteous and the righteous with the evil. That's saying, since they confuse the shepherd for a wolf. You see, and also that it goes into you can mistake the shepherd for a wolf by saying that other nations can make it and all these different things like that. That's what the scriptures goes into in Revelations 11. That you know they crucify our Lord daily. His image, his reputation. Yet they are unable to stand up. The shepherds, seeing the injured sheep, caused them out with heartbreaking agony, since they had known the shepherd and his voice since they were young. When they had listened to his voice, they felt reassured and cried with compassion. The sheep boss, I think, coming down from the mountain, being held in his arms by the shepherd, with a frail and trembling voice, as though it were comfort, even though it was hurt and distressed. Shepherds lead flocks of sheep to the richest pasture when the summer arrives, where there is enough water and grass that the sheep want, and they remain there with the sheep, setting up a shelter. You see, and that's what a shepherd does for his sheep. He gives his life for the sheep. He feeds the sheep properly. He move in and out of, like with the seasons, the time we're living in, so forth. John 10:14, I am the good shepherd, and know my sheep, and am known of mine. And as for the Father know of me, even so know I the Father, and I lay down my life for the sheep. Other sheep I have which are not of this fold, them also I must bring, and they shall hear my voice, and there shall be one fold and one shepherd. So jumping on to 17, therefore doeth my Father love me, because I laid down my life that I might take it up again. That's the point, man. You know, that's really the point. Let me jump down. Well, Let's jump down to let's just start at 16. I don't know. It says, "And other sheep I have." Yeah, I just read that. 17. Therefore, doeth my Father love me, because I lay down my life that I might take it again. No man take it from me, but I lay it down of myself. I have power to lay it down, and I have power to take it up again. This commandment have I received of my Father. There was a division, therefore, among the Jews for these sayings, and many of them. Yeah, Salaki, cut off. Let's just jump down 25. It says, Yahushua answered them, I told you, ye believe not. The works that I do in my Father's name, they bear witness of me, but ye believe not, because ye are not of my sheep. As I said unto you, my sheep hear my voice, and I know them, and they follow me. And I give unto them eternal life, and they shall never perish, neither shall any man pluck them out of my hand. For my Father, this is my Father which gave them me, is greater than all, and no man is able to pluck them out of my Father's hand. I and my Father are one. You see? My sheep hear my voice. I know them, and they follow me. So as you saw in this video, the elect sheep, the elect lambs of YAHAWASHI heard the cry of this man, okay, which he's supposed to represent the shepherd. Okay, they heard the cry and came and ate. All right. You got other sheep that heard the voice but went the other way. Many are called, few are chosen, like I quoted earlier. And then you have many other scriptures, okay, that goes into not everybody's gonna eat, man. Isaiah 65, many precepts. All right.
Nej, kom nu. Det här är en gymprum, så körde hon har kört och funnit ut. Slash funnit ut.
You see that? So, hey, like I said, this lesson was inspired by my son knowing exactly where my wife was at, and just know that the good shepherd and his sheep, Yahweh being that good shepherd, and the sheep being us. Okay, the Lord is coming back for the remnant. Lord willing, we are part of that. Because why? His sheep hear his voice. Okay, it's clear as that his sheep hear his voice. Whether he talk plain or whether he talk with parables. Lord willing, is edifying. Shalom.